There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Live, it is the Squared Circle Digest Raw Recap. I am Sean Stanley, and I'm here tonight talking a little bit about what we just saw on Netflix. It was overall I thought a good show. Again, they're gearing up, getting ready for what will be the Elimination Chamber, and I find it no doubt. How we doing? Oh, Dad, I see you're in there as well. If you're watching us on X, please hit the like, hit the share. You're watching on YouTube, please hit the share. Of course, hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching on the Facebook page, Stanley Media House, jump on over to the YouTube side as well and check us out. Give us a subscribe. On the way to 1,000, the goal getting up to 5,000 before the end of this year. We'll see what happens. We'll keep you updated. Also, NASCAR coverage will kick off on Stanley Media House Network. This week, they are in the Daytona, the 500, qualifying on Wednesday, duels on Thursday, and race all weekend. We'll keep you updated on all of that as it goes. And once the second half of the NBA season tips off, Sean Stanley Sports Talk will be here talking NBA and more sports, as that is now also added to the Stanley Media House Network. And yes, there will be a lot of trading paint this Sunday at the Daytona 500, and we'll see how that goes. But tonight, it is all about the wrestling and the Raw recap. And it got started. Jey Uso gets us started again this week, and he does the yeet thing over and over and over again. It's picked up the steam. It's done what it needs to do. It is, as Frankie Fresco calls it, the yes movement. It is the new yes movement now with the yeet. Now, here's the one thing, too, that I will say. Tonight, a decision was made. I'm not arguing whether it was the right decision to put him with Gunther or not the right decision. That's not. But if you have an opportunity, you've won the opportunity to main event at WrestleMania. Why are you going to tell them so far in advance? Make them sweat a little bit. I think they should wait until the Elimination Chamber, and at Elimination Chamber, have each person make the announcement. But who am I? I'm a schmuck talking on the radio. Or not even on the radio. I'm on YouTube. So, you're sitting here and you're watching it, and Gunther comes out. He takes Jey Uso down at the desk, beats him up. Jey Uso comes back on the mic and says, I probably shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say this. And Gunther, he says, me and you, WrestleMania. So there the decision is made. So now we know the Elimination Chamber match winner will, I guess, take on Cody Rhodes. And that is, again, does it change? Does the road to WrestleMania hit a bunch of turns? We'll have to see how it goes. Last year we saw it do, and this year we'll see if it does again. But overall, tonight you now have Jey Uso's pick. I did find it odd, Charlotte Flair not on Raw at all. But now they can spin the Elimination Chamber to be versus Cody. No. That's exactly what. But also the one thing that could happen too, and again, we all make the assumption that the winner of that is going to verse Cody. They could always change it and do something else with it or whatever else they want to do with that. But we'll see where it goes. And CM Punk did speak late in the card, so we'll get to that here in a moment. We had Io Sky, and Dakota Kai is back. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. Dakota Kai has returned from her concussion. They took on Liv and Raquel to get the action started in the ring. And the one thing I didn't like was this. There was a lot of sloppiness. I don't know if it was Raquel. I don't know if it was anything else. There was some sloppiness on the double team move. She goes to pick her up for a power bomb when she's supposed to be swinging her. There was the double team move where Liv comes off with the double knees, and Raquel doesn't go down when I guess she's supposed to, and Io right into her nose, and we'll see where that goes, if anything. But the one thing that I did not like in this match, Dakota Kai comes back from a concussion, and the first thing that happens outside the ring, you ram her head first right into the goddamn ring post. I mean, she has just returned from a concussion. It's like, I don't know, man. And I get it. It's pro wrestling. It is what it is. But it's like, okay, she's been out for a month with a concussion. Let's take and run her head first into the ring post. And then Io Sky gets the pin on Liv, which I thought was a good continuance of the whole story, because if you remember last week, Liv beats Io, but because Rhea got involved, Liv advances to the Elimination Chamber. So now, Io gets the return, and then there was a nasty gash right above Liv's eye. And I thought it was great, and I'll get into it in a little bit, but the fact that later on in the show, they show the Judgment Day in the back, and Liv still got the dried blood on her face. So I love what they do there. But I did love the fact that they had Io win the match, which again, storyline wise, with everything that's going on with Rhea and Liv, and now Io's kind of in the middle here as we head to WrestleMania. And Io will now get a match. The Raw after Elimination Chamber will be Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, because Rhea said, I'm not giving you anything, but you've earned it, so we'll see. I'm not cold. I'm sporting my new hoodies, man. I got new hoodies for Squared Circle Digest. I got a whole bunch of them now, man. So I'm throwing on so you can see the hoodie. See, that's all. That's all. It's product placement, Frankie Fresco. I'm not like your freezing cold takes. Tomorrow I'm going to need to bundle up with all your cold takes I'm sure we're going to get on the Squared Circle Digest starting at 7 p.m. Then also we had Lyra Valkyrie taking on Bayley. Now this match, look, man, here's the one thing, and I'm not for champions losing. And you had Lyra Valkyrie, who just won the Intercontinental title, the first women's Intercontinental Championship, and you put her in a match to where she has to lose. And I get it, it's the Bayley, and you can do all the stuff, how Bayley's a veteran and this and that. But, I'm sorry. Thank you, Frankie. Good thing Sammy's not here to hear me say that. The Squared Circle Digest will be delayed for about an 8:15 start. Me and Frankie are giving away on Finn's TV tomorrow at 7:40, I believe, is when we're announcing the Rookie of the Year for the Dolphins. They're doing Dolphin superlatives on Finn's TV, and Sammy has graciously given us an opportunity to be on there to present the Rookie of the Year, myself and Frankie Fresco. So you can check that out on Finn's TV. I believe the show is starting at 7:30 on Finn's TV. So make sure you check that out. You can see us. And then when we're off there, we will be going live with the Squared Circle Digest. So with the Lyra Valkyrie, I do not like the fact that a champion got pinned, even though Bayley now heads to the Elimination Chamber. But I do not like the fact that you had your newly crowned Women's Intercontinental Champion pinned tonight. It's just I feel like you devalue the championship when you do these things. You have other, talent that you could have put in that spot and not put. I get it. You want to have Lyra, front and center on a lot of the stuff, but then you put yourself in this position to where your champion got pinned. In that case, I would have rather than made this a triple threat match and then Bayley pinned whoever else, but Lyra have a good showing. I just did not like the fact that a champion gets pinned. Here's my question. Why is Lyra in a qualification match for Elimination Chamber against Bayley? They have other women that can wrestle Bayley. They do. But again, Lyra is also one of the people that they're pushing. I mean, you saw when they were going into Royal Rumble, she was getting a good little push as far as the leeway of her name was being mentioned a lot as being a contestant in the Royal Rumble. So, again, I'm right there with you, Frankie, with the question. I don't know. They should have made it like a triple threat match or something. If you want to have Lyra, I get it. You want her to show the importance of the Elimination Chamber, but you have somebody else get pinned. Yeah, I mean, it's what they do all the time with these titles. The IC title, the US title, and then they start devaluing them. So we'll see where they go from there. They did a great Penta promo. I like the fact that they're letting him, just be himself and talk and do his thing. They come back in with Kaiser. Dunn interrupts him. Then now it's announced next week's show is going to be pretty good with the matches that they have announced. We'll go over that right at the end of this show. But then AJ Styles walks by, heads to the ring. And then AJ Styles cuts the promo. He got a great crowd reaction. He got the AJ Styles chant. He got the welcome back chant. And it's amazing to me that, you look at how this is playing out. It goes back to last week at this time. I was sitting there wondering what the hell happened with Charlotte Flair. Why didn't she get that welcome to where, you start looking at her body of work. And I feel like she should have, gotten a better. And then when you saw that, the reaction that AJ was getting, and then the fact that you throw out Dom as the heel, the antagonist for AJ, it just solidifies the baby face right there. And then with Carlito and his skinny purple jeans and everything that they did there, pretty much solidified AJ as the babyface run right now. We'll see if that stays that way, but it will be interesting to see where that goes with AJ Styles, because also, if you heard during the Logan Paul match, AJ Styles got referenced there because Logan Paul eliminated him in the Royal Rumble. So there's a lot of opportunities, and AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Look, man, I don't like Logan Paul. I wish he would have stayed that way, but I think that could be a pretty damn entertaining match, AJ Styles and Logan Paul, especially with what you just saw from Logan Paul tonight with Rey Mysterio. Seth Rollins, they did the interview up in the crowd area again, that little nest there, and I love that. I just love the vibe. It's so different than him being in the ring. I'm really liking that they're doing that, and it's not everybody. It's just they did CM Punk up there. Now they've done Seth Rollins, and then he gets interrupted by Finn Balor, and of course next week it will be Finn Balor against Seth Rollins in a Elimination Chamber qualifier. No Doubt says Ludwig is 100% getting involved in the match. Triple threat, Penta, Dunn, Kaiser. I think we get that in Toronto. I think we get that at Elimination Chamber. They've got to fill in some matches. You're going to have the 2 Elimination Chamber matches. It doesn't look like we're going to get any title matches as far as Gunther or Cody. So I think you're going to have to fill in. You might get that triple threat match there. So I think you'll get that match a lot sooner than later. Frankie, I would love it to make it to WrestleMania. I just think there's too much going on for it to get to Mania. And I would hope that, not taking anything away from Pete Dunne or Ludwig Kaiser, I would hope Penta would have a better first WrestleMania opponent than you did see Logan Paul did the LP hand gesture. That would be another fascinating matchup. Logan Paul against Penta with all of the athleticism of Logan Paul. And of course we know what Penta can do. That'd be an interesting matchup too. But I think I would hope that Penta gets a more high profiled match than Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser. And that's taking nothing away from them. I just, to me, feel Penta needs a stronger opponent than those two. They did the Creed brothers against the War Raiders. And man, those 4 guys are just beasts. Just powerhouse moves all over the place in that match. Some great tag team wrestling. And I don't know what I thought was going to be the ending. I feel like when you're having that type of matchup, I don't want it to end as like that cheat way as far as like the belts being slammed into the heads of War Raiders and leaving them laying with all of the action that you had, the near falls, the back and forth, and then it turns into that. It's one of those, I mean, it's really, to me, it's an old school move that doesn't get used a lot, and maybe that's why it just feels like it's an old school method of keeping a feud going. Nowadays, I mean, I feel like they could have done so much more, but you did have the Creeds standing over the War Raiders with the tag team titles in hand. So ultimately, you're going to get this ran back, and we'll see. Again, Chad Gable said when he returns, he wants the tag team titles on the Creeds, and he wants the IC title, the women's IC title, on Ivy Nile. And Ivy Nile did confront Lyra Valkyria in the back, kind of talked about her losing the match there. And once the Creed brothers get the tag team titles, then she's coming to get the IC title. So they're continuing that too. I do like, the continuations of some of the more mid-card things that's going on. No Doubt says Paul's great at the heel he is, and he's better in the ring than anyone wants him to be. Dude, he's pretty good. He's very good, man. He's a natural, man. He really is. He's taken to wrestling very naturally. His promos at the beginning were very stiff and dry, but I feel like as he's gotten, more comfortable with who Logan Paul is as far as in the ring and in the wrestling world, he's gotten a lot better because he's become more of himself. And I think that's probably what somebody told him was like, just be what you are on your podcast. Just amp it up a little bit and be heelish. And that's what we're seeing there. He did the backflip off the second rope with Rey Mysterio into a slam. So, man, dude, look, I don't like, Logan Paul. I don't like him, but dude is a natural in the ring, man. He is. He's so good, man. He's so good. It's one of those things to where, some people got it and some people got it better, and he's got it better than a lot of others. And the fact that now he's actually staying and he's learning the business end of it, and he's staying around. It's not just a match here and a match there. He signed a contract. He wants to be a WWE superstar. And you're seeing it now since they brought him back into Raw. He's been, I think, at almost every Raw since they brought him back in and showed him in the crowd there. And he's been busting his ass, man. Busting his ass. I'm so excited they kept showing the drone views. It reminded me how much Sean loves it. Dude, it's just... Frankie, screw you, buddy. Screw you. I'll get you tomorrow. They went back to the Judgment Day cave there. Liv is laying in Dom's lap. She's got the dry blood on her face. Finn Balor walks in. Him and Dom kind of get into it. He asked Finn where he was to help out, him and Carlito. And then Dom says, we need a new member. And Finn Balor shoots it down. So it's going to be interesting to see. Frankie is not, he's usually doing other things, so I do the recaps on my own, Cheyenne. So it's just moi on here. That's why Frankie Fresco's face is not being shown. I don't have him punished. He's not in timeout. He's there every Tuesday. I don't want to take up too much of his time. He gives me a lot of his time on Tuesday and then also at the PLE. So I try not to steal too much of that time when he has other things going on. CM Punk comes out, tells Cody that now he's going to have to stab him in the front because Jay picked Gunther. So now we get that. He runs down all the chamber opponents, and then Logan Paul music hits, and Logan Paul comes out, and they kind of go back, and CM Punk was like, "Oh, I didn't know whose music this was." As Logan Paul's coming down the aisle, and then you've got him in the ring, and then they just throw jabs back and forth to each other. He's like, "I even forgot to talk about you. I forgot you were even in the Elimination Chamber to be a qualifier." So it was interesting. Then he told Punk, "I gave you your 15 minutes of fame by dumping you out. I had your number at the Royal Rumble. I have your number at the Elimination." And we'll see where it goes. We'll see where this goes with Logan Paul. I'm very interested because, again, you had that. They mentioned the AJ Styles part, and then you had him do the LP, which is, zero. That whole thing, that lined up 3 possible opponents. Again, I get everybody wants to be CM Punk winning Elimination Chamber, but now you've lined up 3 opponents possibly for Logan Paul for WrestleMania, being Penta, AJ Styles, and then, of course, CM Punk. So we'll see. No Doubt asked who would be a new member. That got my attention. Me and Frankie are going to talk a lot tomorrow about what has happened and transpired in WWE since Friday night. There was a lot of releases, and we'll discuss that in detail tomorrow. But I believe you're going to start getting some of the call-ups from NXT being called up to the main roster. And I got to believe they're going to probably bring somebody up. And then that will probably end up being a new member of the Judgment Day. I don't know that you bring anybody that is currently in the main roster there. I'm thinking of Eddie Thorpe. There's some other guys there, and, that could be that. And I'm thinking it's going to be a male superstar because you already have Liv and Raquel, so I don't think you go there, and they said to replace JD. So we'll see there. Frankie, I did not like the Jay calling out Gunther. I didn't. I understand with what they're doing, but here's my thing of this. Like, Jay knows, look, if you want it to be Gunther, that's fine. But why this week? Why now? You have the the advantage of knowing who you're going to choose. So why not save it? Like Money in the Bank. You know when you want to cash it in. I just don't understand why it went to the extreme of, him coming out to beat him up, to leave him laying, to Jay kind of crawling up the ropes to be like, I know I shouldn't say this. I know I shouldn't say this. Gunther, me and you at WrestleMania. Like, I didn't like the fact that it was announced now. Maybe it's the timing I didn't like. Ultimately, I think, we kind of figured, I would have loved to seen what they could have worked as far as a bloodline angle with Cody, maybe. But again, I think they want, and here's the other thing too, and I was going to save it for tomorrow, and maybe we'll dive deeper into it tomorrow. But in my opinion, Jey Uso has to leave WrestleMania with whatever title he's going after. If not, the main event, the Yeet, the everything else is done. There's no way. This can't be the Cody story part 2, and we got to wait for Jay. Jay loses it again. He's already lost so many times in the main event, just being main event Jey Uso. He has to leave WrestleMania with whichever title he's going after. That's my opinion. So we'll see where they go and how it goes. And me and Frankie will dive deeper into that tomorrow. Don't forget, we'll be starting a little bit later tomorrow, as me and Frankie will be on Finn's TV giving away the Rookie of the Year superlative of the Miami Dolphins on Finn's TV. You can check it out. Go and follow them on X. They're at Finn's TV, and you can see where they'll be. I believe it starts 7:30 tomorrow. Then after that, it was the Rey Mysterio Logan Paul match. And look, man, for everything I don't like about Logan Paul, that guy is so damn athletic and so damn natural in the ring, man. He's not his his footwork is phenomenal, man. For a guy that's only been doing this for, a couple years, and with that, he was doing like 2 or 3, 4 matches, and I get it. He gets to go to the Performance Center and train, and I'm sure he's got a ring at his house and everything else like that. But, man, for everything I don't like about him, the guy's a natural, man. He's a natural, and the heel persona is him. It's him and his brother. I mean, honestly. That's they need to embrace that, and that's what he's finally doing, and he's becoming better and better as he's applying to the craft of pro wrestling. It was a really good match to close out Raw. I loved everything that they were doing back and forth. Is it me, or is Rey Mysterio held together by that tape? I mean, he's got the tapes on his shoulders, down his neck, all the way down his elbow. He's got so much tape, it's like he's being held together by it. The one Logan Paul, when he does the damn, he hits the second rope and he does the moonsault, almost 3/4 of the ring, and he almost misses him. He almost missed Rey Mysterio. And then I loved McAfee when he said, "I'm Sirius XM, Logan Paul is busted open." And then Rey Mysterio. This is the one thing, too, about when you have a crowd into the match. And I get it, it's Rey Mysterio and it's Logan Paul. But there's time where a crowd might fall dull on it. They went for the 619 the first time. Logan Paul kicks him in the face. The crowd kind of, oh. Then the second time Rey goes to hit it, and he hits it, the pop that they get from that move tells you they had the crowd invested in that match. That lets those guys know everything you did for that 25 minutes, they were there sitting on it, waiting for that to happen. And then, of course, they do the new move he's called, I guess they're calling it now, the Pulverizer, and he got the win. And then the interesting thing is they kept showing Logan Paul leaving, and it was Rey Mysterio in the ring, and they're kind of staring each other down. And then at the end, the New Day's attacking, and they go off the air. So I got to believe if you go to WWE on social media, I'm sure they got it out there by now. You can see what happened to Rey Mysterio as he was attacked as the show ended on Netflix by the New Day. Let me see if I think I missed some up here earlier on. Let's see. No Doubt says Ethan Page would be funny. Yeah, but I would hope that they give Ethan Page something more. The only way he could lose is if someone interferes. You know, Frankie, that's good. That's a good call. But at the same time, too, I almost feel like at that point, you just did that with Cody, where it took him 2 years to finally wrestle away the title from Roman. Do you do the same thing with Jay, or do you cheat him at, kind of cheat him at WrestleMania, and then the next pay-per-view you put the title on him, or at some point? Because I think the title's got to go on him at some point, but we'll see. No Doubt says the pulverizer was pretty cool. I did not like the LP struggled against Rey Mysterio. LP should have destroyed Rey Mysterio. Nah, but you see, it's the legend. And CM Punk even, said it in the thing. He was like, you've got to beat the legend to get to Elimination Chamber. And if you do, then I'm going to put you to sleep. So again, it's helping out a little bit. Remember, Cody lost at the first WrestleMania. And then, no, that's what I'm saying, though. But you can't do that with Jay. You can't have Jay lose this WrestleMania and then come back. Because the difference is Cody was strong going into that WrestleMania. Jey Uso's already lost to Gunther once clean. He's lost, he's lost many times in the main event. It's a little bit different than when Cody was going, because Cody was strong all the way up till when he lost to Roman, and then it allowed him to kind of, fall down a little bit, but then pick it back up. Whereas Jay's already been down here. Remember, Saturday Night Main Event, he got beat clean by Gunther. You're down here. Then he wins Royal Rumble, and now he's going up again. You can't just take him right back down, though. That's where, to me, that's the difference between where they're at with Cody, or where they were at with Cody, and where they're at with Jay, because you've already had Jay lose and keep falling down. So, let's see. He replaced Ricochet. Now we know why they let him leave. Dude, Logan Paul is above where they used Ricochet at. He's replaced Ricochet as like a high flyer, but Ricochet was never pushed in the level that Logan Paul's been pushed in at all, ever. Jay had the IC title for like a week and lost it too. It has to be now or it shouldn't happen. I agree. I agree with you, no doubt. And I feel like kind of, in a way, that's why it's going to be Gunther. Because I feel like they're going to have Gunther kind of beating up Jay leading up all the way to WrestleMania, and you're going to think, oh, there's no way he can win it. And then Jay's going to pull off the big feat at WrestleMania, and then it's going to be a big eating going on, and go from there. Yeah, no, Ricochet didn't get the push LPs. No, not even close. The similarity is they're both high flyers. That's kind of where that one ends to me. Now, the interesting thing is next week on Raw on Netflix, you're going to have the Rollins versus Balor elimination qualifier. You're going to have the Roxanne versus Raquel elimination qualifier. You'll have Penta versus Pete Dunne. And then you're going to have AJ Styles versus Dom. So those 4 matches are going on. And then the interesting thing is, remember, looking at the Royal Rumble, everybody's like, oh, it's a star-studded Royal Rumble. Well, look at the Elimination Chamber. It's John Cena. It's CM Punk. Drew McIntyre. It's Logan Paul. And then I got to believe Rollins wins to go. And then you've got Priest versus Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman this Friday. So, it's either going to be, I think, Damian or maybe Jacob Fatu one of those two get in. I mean, that's a pretty damn star-studded elimination chamber for the men's side. So it's going to be very interesting to see where it goes and then what comes out of it. Because, again, I like the fact that CM Punk kind of threw a jab at at John Cena, where he said, 5 of us are earning a spot and one just decided he wanted to do it. So it's very interesting to see that, again, everybody, I like the fact that they're taking the jabs at Cena, because it's going to, I believe, build up and be maybe a theme for this year. And we'll see if it is it or not, but it might be a little bit more of a theme for Cena, with just kind of getting awarded things, and we'll see how it goes from there. Dom better win. I don't think Dom wins, man. I don't think Dom wins. If anything, it'll be a disqualification with Carlito getting involved. AJ Styles is going to win that, man. He's going to win it, man. Let's see. Here's my issue. Cena and Punk are both old. One of those two guys need to win. What the hell? So let me get this right. So they should win because they're old. I mean, that makes no sense. Why would you give it to an old guy? And honestly, I feel whoever wins this is probably going to get fed to Cody for Cody to win. That's why I hope it's neither of them. But, again, it is what it is at this point. I don't know who it's going to be. I mean, Drew? CM Punk versus Cena at WrestleMania? It's one of those things to where it's going to be very interesting to see where they go from here. Because I feel like, and again, I know we've already discussed this, on the Squared Circle Digest, you've already kind of planted the seed for Seth and Roman doing something, whether it's the triple threat, whether it's them one-on-one, you kind of have that seed planted. I like the fact that they let CM Punk kind of throw out the jab at Cena, so that if CM Punk doesn't win, then you could go Cena versus Punk. And again, it's one of those things to where Punk keeps saying, it's my time. It's my time. I'm going to WrestleMania and I'm going to win. And if I don't, I'm going to be disappointed. And it was disappointed when he lost the Rumble. Again, I don't know if that's going to become a repeated theme for a little bit until he finally wins the match and gets there. But I do feel like, in a way, somehow he's gonna lose this. And then now that I think about this too, they might put Balor, if it's Seth versus Balor, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, Roman Reigns comes in and costs Seth the match, or his music hits and Seth gets distracted and Balor wins. Again, because I have to believe, with everything the way it's going now, Seth does not win Elimination Chamber. Because I got to feel that it's going to be Seth versus Roman at some point. I know we kind of lean toward the triple threat, throwing CM Punk in there as well. Could that possibly be a thing going forward? So, No Doubt says, I haven't gotten the feeling that Punk is going anywhere. He's not going anywhere at all. Cena versus Punk will overshadow Jay versus Gunther on night one. Just saying, if that happens. Oh, they might put it to night two. Just saying. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I don't know that, so do you make the night two the star-studded night, and night one just kind of the whole build it up on Jay winning the title, like they kind of did with the tag titles when Sammy and KO won it? It's going to be one of those things because I believe Charlotte picks Tiffany. The fact that she was not on Raw at all tonight makes me think she's going to go Tiffany. So then it'll be Rhea versus the winner of the Elimination Chamber, which right now it's Liv, Bayley, Bianca, and I think that's the three right now. There might be one more that I'm missing. So, it's gonna be very interesting to see where they go with this. I don't have a problem with the EO match, the Monday after the Elimination Chamber, because again, the Elimination Chamber will be March 1st, and then WrestleMania is not till April 19th and 20th, man. You have a month and 18 days. You have almost 48 days to build up. So for me, I have no problem with Rhea taking on EO. What I hope happens, though, is whoever wins the Elimination Chamber, if in fact that is the person that takes on Rhea, somehow gets involved, because I don't want EO to get pinned. Alexa Bliss, the other one. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you. I forgot about her. She won that on Friday. So, I want EO to stay strong in this. I don't want her to just get fed to Rhea to win, to now the monster's heading to WrestleMania. I would like for her to show what she can do against Rhea, and then have maybe whoever wins the chamber, if that in fact is the opponent for Rhea going to WrestleMania, make an appearance, and then they can slowly start building up to that, depending on also who wins it. I mean, because if it's Bianca's not going to interfere in a match with Rhea and EO, so I don't know how. Again, we'll have to see who wins it and where it goes from there, but it's going to be very interesting, man. A lot of things can happen. Heading now to Elimination Chamber on March 1st, and then the different turns and twists that could happen on the road to WrestleMania, with it being 48 days in between the Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania Night 1. So I appreciate everybody that's been on. I hope WWE does not have Roxanne beat Raquel for Elimination Chamber. You know what? I almost feel the thinking I have is that you stack the deck with Raquel being in there. The only thing I don't know is, how do you, not saying that Raquel can't beat Roxanne, but if you're bringing Roxanne in for this, the best way to have her get beat is by whoever's going to be her first opponent, pre or post Elimination Chamber. They got to cost her the match. And I like the fact that if Raquel does make it in, now they are going to, stack the odds for Liv, just like they did in the Royal Rumble. But now it'll be 2 out of 6 will be there, and Raquel will kind of be there for, Liv to help her try to win and advance to the WrestleMania main event. And the interesting thing is, you could end up being the last 3, whoever you think you want to have win it, have to beat Liv and Raquel to advance and then take on Rhea or Tiffany, or it would be Rhea or Tiffany, whoever Charlotte doesn't take on. But if Charlotte does take on the NXT champion, Julia, now that would leave, Tiffany open and Rhea. So it would be very interesting to see which, are they still doing a draft? It's not a draft. They're kind of doing a transfer window. I don't know if they're, you mean after, I haven't heard anything of them doing a draft, and the fact that they're doing all this transfer window stuff, I can't believe they're going to do this and then flip the rosters again, because I think they're doing this now because Netflix started in January. So they had to get some of the talent over that Netflix wanted to have over on their side. So I don't know that you're going to get a draft this year. I don't think you should. You just did the damn transfer window. So if anything, you do open a transfer window in the winter months. Open a transfer winter in the spring and in the winter. There's your transfer windows. No drafts. Just do your transfer windows in those months, and then right after SummerSlam, you can start, another transfer window leading up into, boom, and then you start it again at around the Royal Rumble time, heading into the WrestleMania part of it. So you can start kind of setting up everything that you got there. What was that? Thumbs down? You like the draft? I can't stand the draft. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Check me out on X at Stanley_Media11. Check me out on YouTube, Stanley Media House Network. Hit that subscribe button, please. Hit the share. Let everybody know we talk a little wrestling. We got NASCAR talk coming this week. And then after the NBA All-Star Game, we'll get into a little bit of sports talk here on the Stanley Media House Network. And don't forget to go like the Facebook page, Stanley Media House Network. Frankie wants a draft. The draft is a cool moment for the NXT wrestlers. Exactly, no doubt. But see, this is the thing, though. Like, I would rather have... Hey, Cheyenne, it does not suck. It's all about left turns. All right? Relax. So, the one thing that I would rather have, Trick show up and take out Carmelo or a moment like that, more than watching them sit in the seat and go, because I don't think they're as surprising as what it used to be. You can see who they're pushing. You know who's going to the main roster. It's not really a surprise. I mean, is anybody going to be surprised if Ethan Page gets, drafted to Raw or SmackDown, or Trick Williams or Jada Parker? And more than fighting words. More than fighting words. Man. Damn. NHRA for the win. Okay. Let's hit the gas and drive a straight line. Go. There we go. Because NHRA do not have ego. Okay. All right. Yeah, cash me outside. Cash you outside. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This was the Raw Recap. Don't forget, tomorrow, between 8 and 8:30, we will talk the Squared Circle Digest. And NHRA is dumb as hell.